The West Coast prior to like it's the gangster rap emergence
Right.
was kind of like in the same boat. It was like a forgot about place. It was like Too Short, Easy E, Ice Cube, NWA,
Right.
Ice T, the big dogs. You know what I'm saying? And then it was everybody else, and it was like it's always been on its own, right? But
Right.
now you got this thing where people talk so bad about the West and where we are musically and that type of shit, right? And my thing is, I think it has a lot to do with our OGs and the way that we champion young people, right? Because
Right.
as soon as I saw Troy Ave, right,
Right.
come out super old school rapping on some East Coast shit, and I watched people champion Troy Ave.
Right.
I watched anybody from the South come out and older people champion and embrace. Even somebody in New York. I'm gonna go back before any of these other people a little bit to Young M.A. Young M.A. is was up under Black Moon,
Right.
old school, and they shit, right? So where's our OGs or where's our infrastructure? I just mentioned in a interview with Love Rants about Larry Jackson and people
Right.
not knowing that he's one of the most powerful people in the game and having
Right.
executives like that. Where is those people over here to even have that hand in it? Because I think that's what's missing.
It depends on if you're talking about execs, or you talking about
Yeah.
artists, or you talking
No,
about
not artists. There's plenty of artists. It's
right.
execs. There's management. There's labels. There's all of it. What are those? Who are those people, and what is that here?
I think the execs go where the talent at, where the money at, I think that's where they at. You know what I'm saying? So I think now the buzz got to be. You got to be some momentum before they not just showing up just to go, to show up at your local talent show to see who got it. You know what I'm saying? Something catapults that, something sparks it. Whether it's one artist, that's why I always say it's so important to get behind the.
So is the headline saying right now Brownie says we don't have talent?
No. Sometimes even if it's tough conversations, sometimes the proof is in the pudding, and sometimes we do have talent, but we don't 1,000% get behind it. I think when you start to look at it, I think that's why it's so important for when we see some. It's actually important to me to get behind somebody who has momentum, whether you like it or not. When you're from a certain region or area, I don't care if you don't like LaRussell. I don't care if you don't like what he do. It's kind of hard not to like LaRussell, right? But even if you don't, you have a responsibility to get behind him, right? Because he has a lot of momentum. The John Macks of the world, like we talked about, the Simbas, you know what I mean? It's important to when people have this type of traction, one of my favorites, the boy. When people have this type of motion, D boy or the boy, how you pronounce it?
It's both.
He said D
It's
boy.
both. He D boy, but the
Right.
artist name is the
The
boy.
boy, right.
Yeah.
One of the to me it's when I look at the SOB situation and when I hear conversations about it, to me it's one of the most unfortunate things. I felt like why couldn't somebody step in between that and keep that together? Because that needed to be.
But having a little inside information, they tried, right? And I think that it's it the people that was involved, the OGs that was involved,
Right.
they tried hard, right? The street shit was getting involved, getting in the way. But here's my thing: is like they were signed to themselves. So the mistake, in my opinion, that the OGs made is being extra fair.
Right.
Sometimes extra fair don't work. Imagine being super liberal with your children when you told them no about something.
Right.
Now imagine just saying like, I'm not gonna have an opinion. You do what you feel.
Right.
They would put themselves in dangerous situations all the time, right? So
Right.
when it came to that situation, I think that that's exactly what it was. I think that it's a difference when you have a QCP and a Coach K saying,
Right.
nah, man, shit, we gonna get paid off y'all, but we gonna make sure y'all make it all the way for this many years. You know what I'm saying? So the few years we got out of it and the success we got out of it, we gotta appreciate. But I just, because, and going right into the conversation we wanted to have earlier about the Bay and where are we? You know, not just this West Coast thing.
But first, before you, because when I look at them, when I look at SOB, right? Look at all the members, Slimy B, that's, T.O. Look at everybody that was a part of that. I know I'm missing some names, but they actually had everything. You know what I'm saying? They had the charisma, they had the sound. Sonically, it was something that we hadn't, and it was translating. You know what I'm saying? We'd be across the world, different cities, wherever we was at, and that anti come on, and there was people from the Bay that wasn't even from the Bay. They vibing, and so when you have that type of momentum, when you get that type of momentum, I think it's important for everybody to like understand the bigger picture of it. If you're gonna have that regional conversation, you know what I'm saying? I think it's important for everybody to get behind it and figure out ways to mesh it and make it work and continue, you know, to support that. Because to me, they was always better together than they are, you know, individually, right? And I think when you look at that, I think we have to, when you see, first off, everybody gonna say, oh, we need to support everybody, right? Support your friends and whatever. But when you see somebody with the momentum, it's just like somebody who is racing in the Olympics for the USA. You know what I'm saying? The whole country, they got this person has a chance to bring the gold home. So the whole country, no matter how you feel, we're going to, Noah Lyle said some cat stuff in the media before. You know what I'm saying? They had us scratching our head about the NBA, but when he was on that field running against them Jamaicans for that medal, what everybody do?
Right.
Rally behind him. You know what I'm saying? So I think when somebody has the hot hand, when somebody sees Rab making motion the way Rab is making motion, it's important for us to say, okay, boom, let's rally behind, because the big picture is it opens up doors, you know, for everybody. That's why it's important to support LaRussell. That's why it's important to support Simba. That's why it's important to support John Mack. That's why it's important to support all these people that's making, you know what I'm saying, they got stuff going on. You know what I mean?
I totally agree. Just to expound on that, though, I think that knowing yourself and who you are matters in supporting. Right? Because we start off competing all the time instead of supporting. Right. So it's always me, or I tell somebody about this new Brownie song, and then they tell me about their cousin. Just let me get my shit off first. I'm just trying to put you up on something. I'm not competing with you. I'm just telling you about something, trying to put you up on something. You put me up on something, I should listen. Like, check it out. And like you said, we're not just rooting for the dude running the track at Fremont with hopes. Like you said, we rooting for the gold medalists. We potential gold medalists, right? We rooting for the guys that got a chance. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has a chance, but there are levels.
And when you see it at that level, you have to recognize that. Otherwise, we become a place that, to this day, this is, how long 40 Water? Shout out to, how long 40 Water been in the game?
86.
This is 2024. We was playing 40 Federal when I was in junior high school, bro.
Yes.
And to this day, for years, when I'm out of town somewhere, and I'm in another state, and they ask me where I'm from, and I tell them where I'm from, the first names that get mentioned to me always, Too Short, E40. Testament to their careers and all the great things that they've done, but we've had to have somebody. Nobody has followed that up. We got to be one of the only places that have had major acts like that. I'm talking R&B or hip hop, whatever, to where 40 years later, we still got to mention when they still like, it's no, who else? Who came after?
Shit, nobody.
Who came after? Who matched that? We still talking 40, we still talking Too Short. As the, you know, it was a lot of dope shit, but I'm saying that's who we talking.
To your point, that's a great point, but I gotta combat you on that one, because that's also the whole game.
You think so?
You still gotta say 40. It's nobody's career that's lasting like that. Like, them niggas is like aliens. Like, ain't nobody that cool that long down the line. Them niggas is different. Like, don't nobody look at LL the same. I just can't. I don't look at LL. LL's the guy,
right?
But he's not the same guy as, like, E40 is still the same guy.
What I'm saying though, Rab, is when you go to New York, right? You could say, depending on how far you want to go back, you can say Rakim, you can say Eric B. and Rakim, you can say KRS-One, you can name as many names as you gonna want, but then you got to move on from them and then start talking about Nas and Jay-Z, right?
That's exactly my point.
And then you got to move on from Nas and Jay-Z and talk about the people that came after them, and then the people that came after them because they was still, you know what I'm saying? Because they region has, like, when we talk about major artists from the Bay Area, major like hip hop artists from the Bay Area, I don't know who has followed on that level. Who has followed Short and 40 as far as got to that level of stardom from this area?
Well, it depends on what you consider, because there's niggas who have just as many records sold. You know what I mean? Like, so it depends on what you like. If you say a Sage the Gemini, like, you're gonna look him up and he's gonna have, I mean, I don't think he has as many records sold, but in his short time where he was on top, it was a lot.
Right.
So I just think the way we live now, I don't even think that's possible for any artist. I don't think anybody
because of the streaming.
Just because of anything after Napster, I couldn't see nobody ever becoming like.
Right.
We still don't like mentally want to give it up for LeBron.
Right.
That's crazy. Like, this motherfucker's 40, bro. Like, he's leading our USA team. Like, he's not just on. He's not. No disrespect to bro, but he's not doing the Haslam. Right. You know what I mean? He's not the player coach on the end of the bench.
That's just pure disdain. No,
you know
that's pure
what I'm
like
saying?
that. Yeah.
And so like I just think that we will never get that again. But I understand what you also saying, because we are looking, even if you take it a notch down, people have it, but it's a very short amount of time. Right. It's never for a long time. I think something
to me, that's a lot of weight for Water and Short that still had to. That's a lot of weight that still had to hold.
See, I think it's even more weight to help somebody else do it. Because that's what rappers evolve to.
Yeah, but that's the natural maturation process. That happens organically though. That's supposed to.
But they've been doing it so long, they already did it.
But there's also a still demand. There's still a demand for their music. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
They fan bases is crazy. So you have to. You're not at a. I really don't feel like Water has seen like a noticeable decline. You can say in who he is. You can say, okay. I don't even know. I don't know if the decline is. I think his fan base is still his fan base, and I think somehow he's been able to grab a younger crowd, younger audience too.
It's kind of like what I was saying about Mozzie earlier. Mozzie don't have as big as hits all the time as 40, but I think his shit will last forever.
Right.
Like, I don't think, like, that's kind of like the conversation we was having with Simba about the major label versus independent. It's like, in my philosophy and my theory is that you can go up and you can go down like this, or you can kind of be even keel. Right. You know what I mean? Right. And kind of like, you get bigger and bigger, so your jobs become bigger. Now you're doing bigger things, like a LaRussell. Like, I feel like it's a thing like this, and also the state of how music is where we live now. Like I said, you don't sell physical records. So it's not the same thing. Like, nobody's gonna tell you I sold 300,000 independent. Like,
real shit only.
That's calculated through.
Let me talk to these niggas, Zeke.
So it's just a whole nother. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody got said. Shit. You niggas run to IG for inspiration, cause your immediate circle ain't good for shit but hating. How you hustling just to get complacent? We never settle, run these bitches then we pick replacements. About my money, niggas more concerned with getting famous and putting fake jewelry on layaway and missing payments. Hopping out of